Hello. So, if you're watching this video, it means you're probably a part of one of my Pathfinder games. Or my Starfinder one, perhaps. I'm here to tell you guys a bit about one of the systems I made, because I believed that mythic rules in normal Pathfinder were not as impactful as I wanted them to be. So, for all of my players, you can go to the Compendium Packs, not Astrium items, Astrian journals. This will have all the stuff here. This will have whatever house rules I've made. This will have this. You can tie this to what I say when you recall knowledge. And then this is what we're going to go over in this video right now. Okay, we're going to start with the first tab right here. I'm just going to pull it up and read it and explain my thoughts as I do so. A mark. A mark is a special sign from a deity or cosmic force, granted after a notable act or supernatural event. It could be a tattoo-like brand, a glowing rune, or a subtle shift, such as your eyes flickering with celestial light. Your mark will grow stronger while you perform significant deeds that align with the power behind it. It advances in the 7-step path from fledgling, lesser, emerging, ascendant, greater, radiant, and exalted. There is various things here. So fledgling, newly awakened, very small benefit. That might be something like you get to cast Produce Flame, or something like that. Lesser, the mark's power is visible but limited. You might get a couple fire spells. Maybe just some low-level ones, some low-level spell slots. Emerging, you're clearly touched by the mark, so others might notice strange auras or minor miracles. This will be stuff that is going to essentially start very much impacting your character at a fundamental level. Here, you are essentially like a knight of where you're getting that mark. Like you are someone that embodies that distinct possibility. Greater, you're starting to become more powerful. Radiant, you are a divine being of that mark. You're the equivalent of like a angel of that mark. And you're exalted, you are close to being essentially the premier individual tied to that mark. A mark would be something as an example for my Shattered Covenant campaign. Zariel marks you, right? You can follow down that path and follow down the tenets of Zariel. Like, she is a archdevil of war from hell. If you go and attempt war, cause war, follow war, you will slowly gain favor with that mark, and she will notice what you're doing. If you go the opposite way, you may just, your mark gets snuffed out, or you might just lose that power that you may be gaining from her. It's shown here with boons and drawbacks. You will get increasing obligations as you follow that thing, and eventually when you reach like ascendant, like emerging slash like probably ascendant tier, you've ascended into that plane of where you are essentially a direct disciple of that character. Right, okay. So, the next thing we're going to go over, Exalted Dual Class, right? This will be something that's going to happen in all of my campaigns at some point. It's not necessarily tied to this right here. It says, after your mark reaches an appropriate tier, often ascendant or greater, you may be offered a chance to dual class in full, just like Pathfinder's dual class variant. This is normally a big story moment representing your mark's patron or cosmic force elevating you beyond normal adventurers. The dual class is unique with a custom name and abilities tied to your character. For example, the Daring Operative here. The Daring Operative is a mix between the Swashbuckler and the Operative from Starfinder. If you look at here, they have a slight difference. So, Dex key attribute. Some of them might have more varying key attributes you can choose from depending on what you want to do. But usually they're tied to your character, so they'll be kind of dead set first off. They have 11 hit points instead of 10, so very minor bonus, but it is a bonus nonetheless. As well as getting maybe a couple more skills here and there. But what is it? They have a precise strength that can apply on ranged attacks. That's something that's very important to this specific thing. As we go forward, I may add more custom features onto these. I had ideas for stuff between like levels 2 and 4 and 6, etc. Stuff like that. But yeah, it's essentially in-depth customized classes with unique flavor tied to your main character. And you usually get them through a major quest, trial, or vow. And each time you level up, you get points in both classes. So it essentially fills out every character sheet like a World of Warcraft endgame character sheet. If your dual class is tied to a mark, if you lose your mark, you might lose progression in that second class until you forge a new pact or atone for what happened. Okay. So there's various tiers of mythic and further play here. So normally the mythic rules come in one shape and form. You have these things called Where's it at? Calling. You have these things called mythic callings, which is like this. So this allows you to spend your mythic points doing very specific things every so often. Boring. The feats for this are boring. There's no feats at level 4, or there's no feats at level 2 or 6 that are really that great. Level 4 and 8 has some good ones, but essentially everyone's going to pick the same one at level 4 and 8, which is boring. This is a very boring mythic system in my opinion. It doesn't actually really increase your power too much. You can just do some things slightly better sometimes. Not even that often. Because I have you guys roll a lot during games, and being able to... Oh, you can balance well with a whole mythic point that you could otherwise use to re-roll an attack. What seems more important, like, to you? Okay. But here, right? So, if you have... You can essentially get new mythic powers, right? So there's would be mythic, epic, legendary, godlike, transcendent tiers, or tiers essentially. You can even rename them if you'd like to, as you go up in level. But that's up to you. Essentially, this will give you pseudo-random bonuses to your abilities as you... Like, they'll have pseudo-random bonuses if you're upgrading abilities, which will be covered further in this list here of stuff that we're going to talk about. Or you might just get an ability. Like, for example, let's go pull up someone's character sheet over here. Go down. There's quite a bit of stuff here. You see this? Where's that? Right here. This is an epic ability. This is something that was granted to him due to a story thing. So you might get stuff like this. I'll close that out. Yeah. They'll be quite powerful. Your abilities will become quite powerful. The power scaling in my world is quite immense. It is very high. So when I decided on Pathfinder, it was a natural switch from D&D, which the power level is not quite that high, except for some weird reality warping casters can do at the end, yet they can still be stabbed by a goblin. They can just walk up and go, which I don't like. Pathfinder fixes that. Said the words. Okay. So next thing, optional skill trees. Let's pull up an example. Who people have skill trees in this? I think there's only 2 skill trees here. So we can go and pull up some examples of that real quick. This is Alzek's skill tree right here. One moment. Yes. So in different points of each campaign, there may or may not be skill trees, depending on how much work I want to put into things. This is by far the biggest skill tree I've made. And there's another form of skill tree, and each one will kind of have their own gimmick. I like doing gimmicks with stuff. It's just a part of me. Each one will have their own gimmick. Like this guy here, he has 3 different like space manipulation style magics that he can go through, and every time he finds one, he has to find 5 of these Lagrange points inside this tree, and he'll unlock a secret skill tree that's even more powerful than these. Will take a very long time, right? But these will be made essentially on a case-by-case basis. Like here, this was a skill tree that was for a specific event during the campaign that lasted about 4 or 5 sessions. That's why he has a lot of skill points to that. And he probably won't be getting any bonuses to that as well. They will essentially allow you to progress separately from a level or items. Just adds more to the game. Okay. Yes. So yeah, this is right here, number 5 is adding on to the number 3, where abilities can be this kind of powerful. It allows you to ascend items. And then when I released this, I gave everyone a free upgrade. Yeah, so here is the most important thing, right? These catalysts are a meta currency, in a sense. They exist in the world. They're essentially what allow people to reach insanely like grand heights. Like a catalyst could be anything. It could be an idea. It could be an actual physical item. It's essentially a separate line of progression on top of your normal class. Let's pull those up real quick so you can see some examples. I've shown some people this, but I can show you the rest of the stuff. So if we go to here, catalyst, here are some ideas for them, or some examples of that. The mythic catalyst, this allows you to progress an item from normal to mythic and increase its power, hereby giving it a bonus that is essentially randomly generated. And the bonus is like a Diablo or Path of Exile style bonus given to this. Yes. This epic one is a step higher. You need it to be mythic, and then it can become epic afterwards, which is even another bonus on top of that. Then we have a couple other ones here. This Elemental Catalyst allows you to form a new ability. So these are ones that I just made recently. Essentially, I took this list here. So some of them might be more freeform and allow you to choose from a group of elemental stuff, or they might have specific things based on what boss dropped them. So if you fight like a boss that's very fire-based, you might get a fire elemental catalyst. The greater one is usually 2 or a more powerful version of 1 element. The lesser one is usually just 1 element, like a fire ability that you can get. Ending Catalyst is for a finisher. It allows you to get an ability that allows you to finish foes and maybe get rewards from doing so, such as a skill point. So it all ties together. Otherworldly Catalyst allows you to get a ability from another world. So this will give you like a D&D feature or an ability from Minecraft or something stupid. I don't know. But yeah, that's essentially what that is. It's going to be like essentially points in space that are diverging from the current like timeline or the current world, essentially, because there's so many dimensions and planes and Pathfinder in these games anyways that it just kind of adds to that. The Seraphic Catalyst is a essentially way to get like a ultimate ability, is what it is. So every character can only have 1. It will scale with you as you level up, but you can only ever get 1 ultimate ability. It'll be something that has a couple prerequisites to use, or is a very like long cooldown, relatively like a day or even a week if it's powerful enough, or it might just be a one-time use. It's essentially like it's a give and take here. But this allows you to do create an ultimate ability, and we will look at an example of that. We will look at Kyle, my friend here. So he's almost dying in our current game. So he's 9 health. He almost fell to his death, right? Pretty funny, and that will be permanently set up here. Something else I'm gonna mention right now, even though I don't have it in this, it's something separate. There are team up abilities. So 2 players can at any point come up with an ability that essentially defines them or their like relationship, and I will make it and add it to both character sheets. That is just free. Anyone can do that literally any time, but you only get 1, unless everyone has 1. Then you can get 2. It's up to you. It's up to your entire party to do that. But let's look at the ultimate. So here, this is essentially Yone's ultimate from League of Legends, but it ties in with his class, his Arcane Cascade from his Magus. He gets a bonus to the damage if he's an Arcane Cascade stance, and he can change the type of damage based on his Arcane Cascade stance. And it stuns, it's a line that makes him travel, and he can stun everyone in an AoE. Pretty dope. That is one of the ultimate abilities that you can get. That will scale with his level as he goes up. I think it's half of his level, so it's 4d12 now, and then next level at 9 it'll be 5d12 per thing, so it's 10d12 damage in total. Very strong ability for being level 9. Yeah, so putting it all together, get a mark, dual class, further revelation, more powerful, etc., etc. So yeah, there's a little thing right here in Astrea, which is my world. Mortal heroes can become cosmic legends by nurturing a mark through multiple tiers, potentially unlocking an exalted dual class, branching into optional skill trees, and upgrading key abilities with catalysts. Each step intertwines with the narrative and the power that you go through and what you're fighting, ensuring your character's growth feels mechanically rewarding and epically significant. This is a way I can give you guys progression, mechanically, all of this that intertwines with your character, that happens outside of level ups, because I don't give level ups too often, as you guys know. My level ups are few and far between. You might go 10, 12 sessions without leveling up a single time, because I like to do long, drawn out campaigns. So I'm attempting to fix that, plus I just like making things. Yeah. So, I believe that is it for my Ascendancy system. My professional, mythic overhaul that I'm doing. So, for my players, if anyone else out there is watching that is not one of my players, thank you for watching till this point. Appreciate it.